Yeah. All
All
right.
right, and we are live. Welcome to the Hardpill Network. This is a podcast that where we speak the truth and seek the truth, and also help men get better in their relationships, their finances, and fitness. Quick announcement: this channel is not monetized, so if you want to support us, you can do that through a PayPal. The link is in the description below. Every donation you make will be used to give you all a better quality show or get better mics, better camera, and better lighting, and just to give you all a quality show. Also, follow Happy Network on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share to your friends and your family. Also, we'll be needing a chat mode for our future shows. So if you want to help us out with that, you can DM us on Instagram. All right. Yeah. Welcome to the show, Fab. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing not so bad. A bit tired, but it's all good. I've had I just came back from just a few hours ago from 12 kilometers walk. So with my girlfriend. So yeah, it's good. Good. Not so
Great
bad.
to have you on the show, man. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So, Fab, can you introduce yourself to the people for those that might not know you?
So yeah, sure. Well, where should I start? So I just start with my just background where I'm from. So basically, I'm from Brazil. At 12 years old, I moved to UK. I lived in UK
Okay.
for about 16 years. I lived in London, then I went up to Newcastle, and then after, well, yeah, just after kind of a little bit failed relationship, and I just decided, you know what, I met this other girl, Spanish girl, and I decided just to, she was from Mallorca, so I decided, you know what, let's just try something different, just move country, just start from zero, and yeah, so I'm here 6 years later, or six, no, 7 years now. So seven, been living here
Wow.
7 years, and I've always been since who's about since for the past 12 years. I've always started I started as a personal trainer, and yeah, I mean, I started just loved it, and since then I've been self-employed since. So yeah,
Wow.
and now so I kind of combine a little bit what I do. I have personal training clients, and then I have well, coaching clients, which is for dating. So I help guys out, in terms of the kind of just issues with the problems that they come up with dating, relationships, and so on. So I can kind of call myself kind of a masculine coach slash dating.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about your city, how to run game, how to get women, the marketplace, ratios, and the overview of your city?
Okay, so well, I haven't because I've been from three different cultures. So from Brazil, I mean Brazil, England, and
How old were
Spain.
you when you left Brazil?
How I was 12 years, so
Oh,
yeah, 12,
okay, okay.
12 years old. Yeah, yeah, 12 years old. So I didn't get much to it, but I've always been kind of, mm, I would say, I've been lucky with girls. Um, and then so after 12 years or so, I went back to UK, and I've also had a very unique perspective. So I had to go to school at younger age, then went to university. So dating in the UK, from my perspective, it's been good. I've always kind of came across situations where I didn't understand. I didn't know. So I was kind of young still. You know how you just. I
Mm-hmm.
think all of us,
Yeah.
as a man, we've all been through phases of our life where we tend to get, girls will get into kind of relationship, and then suddenly we just kind of, for some reason, as soon as I get, this happened to me almost all the time. As soon as I get into one relationship, then I tend to get loads of attention after that.
Mm.
And I was like, when you're single, it's like, hold on a second. So, so yeah, so that's kind of always got back. So it's something that always has been in the back of my head since the dating. So I've been more serious when it comes to date, not to date, kind of helping men, or or looking at how can I improve, should I say, my game, and then observe the environment that I'm in, and see my friends and guys and girls kind of interact with each other. So just mostly for the for the past year, that's when I've really been like focused on, okay, what have I done right in the past, and how can I replicate that, and so on. And one of the things that's quite unique is UK. It's a very, I would say, people are very promiscuous. Um,
In the
both,
UK?
yeah, from both sides. Brazil
Okay.
as well. So like in Brazil, people date a lot. They go out a lot. And one of the things I tend to find is that Brazil. So we kind of have women like in the pedestal, right? So women
Mm.
like in Brazil, we kind of idolize women in a way
Okay.
that I don't think is kind of healthy. Um,
Mm.
that was from very early age. I kind of picked up on that in a few years ago. I went back to
Okay.
Brazil, and I was like, that was still kind of within the culture. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, it's sort of, I suppose it's just a culture there, and that's how the way it is. And then if you go to UK, and that's just a slightly different dynamics. So you definitely can see that females are treated more or less kind of at the same level as guys. But I'm guessing so it come down to the um, to the culture. Um, and then here in Spain, again, it's slightly different again. And people here are very liberal, same in the UK,
Mm.
but here the girls, they definitely have more power.
Wow.
When it comes to it's the way how the Spain politics work. So it's kind of a little bit like America in a way.
Mm.
So the powers will give it to the woman, and you have to
Okay.
play it. You have to play a very you have to be very careful over here. I don't want to sound kind of condescending or negative, but I have had a few friends that have been
In
um,
trouble.
yeah, in trouble with girls, yeah, because of they set the boundaries. They also the girls is too drunk. They didn't kind of they invited the girls to the house, and basically they said the girls didn't want to have sex, and it just and it just kind of kicks it. Say, listen, if you're not gonna have sex, then just get out of the house. I don't want nothing to do with you. And of course, the girl seemed to the girl got hurt because of the comment, and then she went to the police, and then she kind of told the police kind of he beat her, he abused her, and so on, blah blah blah.
Damn.
Yeah, this so it took like 2 years for him to go through the process. He went to court and everything, and then eventually at the end of
Wow.
it, he confessed that she lied.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. So it's really you have to play like as a guy nowadays, especially in the 20, now this day and age, you have to be really smart with who you're
Exactly.
dealing
Yeah.
with. You can't just be reckless. About 15 years ago, 20 years ago, yeah, you could have can get away with a lot of things, but nowadays, especially with the female power, what is happening now nowadays, so yeah, it's kind of very tricky.
Mm. Okay, I can see two people watching us. Welcome to the show. If you have your questions, you can drop them in the comment section, and later on I'll ask. Fab will be here to answer your questions. So I know you're no longer in the dating market anymore, but while you were in the dating market, how do you source, for girls? Like, how do you, run your game?
Sorry, say it again. I didn't quite hear you. So my mic is on max.
Okay, I said, I know you're no longer in the dating market anymore. You have a girlfriend, a relationship.
Yeah.
So, like, when you were not in a relationship, how do you get girls? How do you, run game and stuff?
Okay, so with the running game. So, to be honest with you, I often I practice this quite a lot. So as a kind of dating myself, I have to in a way keep it very. I have to be sharp in my game. And me and my girlfriend, we have a very have a very unique relationship with where I even nowadays I can just go talk to a girl and she'll be there. She knows what I do in anyway. So she will respect that, and she will see that I'm just approaching girls just
Yeah.
to try different methods. But as a guy, just to approach it, to be honest with you, for myself, it's not hard at all. I suppose you gotta think if you as a guy, you just have to have confidence. So the main thing is the confidence to just approach a girl. It don't have to be a lot. You just say hi, hello, how you doing? Um, and then afterwards you can build up from that. Obviously there are tricks which you can do that's going to help you, um, that's going to help you to approach a girl a little bit easier. And there are the kind of the boring ways, which is kind of typical what most of the guys will do. Is just approach a girl, say hello, how you doing, what do you do. It's a very standard game.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be very attractive. And one of the things that I found as a really great trick is, um because of I understand how the female mind works, and I play that as an advantage. Okay, so the girls, they love to fantasize things. They love to be put in a position where you can cast them the point of view, and you can kind of just roll and play with that a little bit. And that's one of the things that I kind of like. It's kind of my game, really. And I know this. I know this sounds as stupid as fuck, and a lot of the guys wouldn't agree. But honestly, my game, if I've been pretty much, I think, 95 to 98%, like almost every. If I approach 10 girls, I would say 9 out of 10 would say kind of like,
Wow.
I'll get on. I'll be able
Are you
to have
serious?
with a, yeah, honestly.
Wow, wow,
If
wow.
you like this is like a lot of the guys just ignore this trick, ignore this. But this is game is you play astrology with them. Like just ask them the star.
Mm.
It's the easiest thing ever. It is just kind of like if you learn the star signs, if you know what it is, you can just play along with them. Even though you might not fucking,
Wow.
you might even not believe in it, but if you play with that, because they love to vibe with that energy,
Yeah.
and so
That's
on.
stupid shit.
Yeah, honestly, if I know, like the simplest thing, I would start with this. I would start the girl. I would start talk to her approach and so on and so on. And I was like, I can just like, what you look like your energy. You start to talk about the energy, this vibe thing where you look like somebody, blah, 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 like that. And I'm like, are you kind of like, maybe Aries, and then she's like, no, no, I'm this. I was like, oh, okay, right, right. So it's just the entry, even if you get it wrong,
Mm.
just in there, and that is leads you to boom, leads to a conversation with her about it. And again, some guys who don't, they might, I would say a lot of the guys they're a little bit ignorant with this, but honestly, every time I've picked up one girl from, I think that was, yeah, that was Instagram. She texted me, and in fact, she wanted to train with me. Because I'm a personal trainer, so she wanted to train with me. And honestly, I was talking to her like maybe 5 minutes, and within 5 minutes, I was just like, "Well, this done. This girl can't be a client." So I asked her her horoscope or this and that, pa, 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 pa. And on my head, this girl was like, and I told her, "Listen, me and you, we cannot be training partners. I'm sorry, I'm not. But I would love to take you out for dinner, and so on." That's how it is. It was just so the easiest thing ever. Once you
Wow.
get into that game, honestly, and a lot of guys ignore it. And
Yeah.
this has been my game since I was like young, since I was like maybe
Wow.
12, 13, 14,
Wow.
and it worked
Like,
like a charm.
how did you come about it? Like, what made you to
To be honest with you, even to this day, I've sat down, I talked to my girlfriend. I don't know, but it's like an instinct.
Wow.
I just
Wow.
like it just felt natural for me to say, because I tell you one thing though, I was raised by my mother, so I don't know my dad. And I know there
Okay.
are difference between being raised by the mother and being raised by your dad. So I never met my dad. So I've always have been around women my whole
Women.
life. So I've become a
So
little
you
bit,
say,
kind of like ladies boy type of thing. I was always around since I was 12 to 13. I used to practice capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial art.
okay.
So so I was always around adults, and I was always around girls, and I was always kind of talk. I was kind of sit there like in a table, listen to them, and then see how adults interact. And I think I kind of just built from there. I started to kind of
Mm.
realize, pick up these little patterns, and then see like what type of the vocabulary, what words that they use, what type of conversation, that kind of worked really, really good, because it was a good and a bad thing, because I couldn't date girl my age. So when I was 12 to 13, I could not see girls at my age. I honestly, I never had a girlfriend from or when I was 13, 14. I was 13, 14. I've never had a proper girlfriend until I was 18, because I would just not, the girls at my age, I would just like your
They're
child,
older than you.
I don't want to talk to a child about these silly subjects. I want to talk to an adult woman.
Yeah.
And so in a way, I don't even know how I managed to, even to this day, I'm kind of shocked that I don't know how I've managed, but I was good at picking up older women. I managed to
Mm.
become good. So at 14, I was already on gaming a woman that's 26 to 30 years old,
Wow.
and I got that good. I don't know how, but I got that good. And yeah, and to be honest with you, I was since I was 14 till I was about 25, 20, yeah, 25, 24, 25. No, sorry, about 20, about 28. Yeah. So good about 12 to 14 years. I would never look dating a woman that's my age. I've always kind of been, a bit older. But then again,
Mm.
I found that then again, I found it easier, because I just knew instinctively what specific age range woman, what they're looking for in a man. So I
Mm.
just play with that. I just play with that, with those emotion, with those the specific traits that they're looking for in a guy. And that was just easy for me to get laid, not even to just get laid. And that was it. But which means I also struggled with the younger girls until recently, until possibly I was 32, yeah, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my mindset just changed. I was like, you know what? I started to realize that once you start to mature as a man, and you kind of see what is happening to women once they hit a specific age, and then they kind of like, oh, this is not attractive to me anymore. It was attractive for me to build up my experience as a man. But then
Mm.
after, when I started to get to 30 to 33, and then I realized that, oh, this is not attractive to me anymore, because I
Yeah.
started to see that they come up with too much baggage, too much
Exactly.
things
Yeah.
going on. And I was like, in my mind, just something just clicked, I don't find this woman attractive anymore. I can still maybe
Mm.
sleep with them, but doesn't mean I want something,
Yeah. A
kind of serious.
relationship.
Then I would just kind of like switch over. Then for some reason, I just decided to look at younger girls, like 5 years, but 20 to 23, 25, and so on, and that becomes my standard now. So this was like a little, like just a process, and I really kind of, I sat down and looked at myself, kind of reflected. It was like, okay, how come I was doing that? How come I kind of felt the need to be? I was looking for, I would say, as a young, kind of validation for all the women, so kind of knew what they were looking for, so I just kind of play with that.
Mm.
I was kind of the ones I picked. I was successful, and even I'm not sure if I like to say here, but you know, since I was 14, I did get along with the 26 years old woman, in bed and everything. So, so yeah, kind of just shows a little bit. Yeah, I kind of got my first experience with like a more mature woman, and then from that, I kind of build up from that. I started to get more experience, and then I started to. I really, for me, woman. How do I explain this? Um, I'm not the type of man just kind of go just kind of like, I had friends they can go out, every weekend, and just get girls left and right and center. Like, I've never been that, because I've been all about quality over quantity. And I built up a lot of my experience and maturity by having less, but getting to know them more and getting to know how females think. That's how I build up my experience. Once I get their trust and they've let me in into the how females thinks, then that was my I said that was my basically my strategy that I used to pick up girls so easy. And so I don't have to look, or I don't even have to filter. I just go, I just kind of, I just see it, how they walk, how they talk, how they behave, and I'll just say, yeah, that's the girl that, yeah, she's quite feminine. Well, I like the way she talks, I like the way she walks, I like the way she behaves in a social
Yeah.
environment. And I'm like, this was like, for me, it's just like, look, I can look 1 minute, I just know it,
Mm.
so yeah, I'm not so much I'm not the type of guy just so much just go hit and you go, because I find a lot of the girls, they wanted too much hard work, and I just prefer to cherry pick the best. And then when I do pick, I pick a good one rather than just going through so many, um, and then always get a kind of bad ones to get yourself into trouble, which I have seen a lot of
Yeah.
Muslims, they kind of going through so many goes, and they just kind of like get themselves into trouble for like, yeah, just for me, just kind of no reason. You can definitely avoid as a man. You can be really good at what you do. You just have to spend more time. You don't have to.
Exactly.
I was never very. I've never kind of date them, but I'll never take them serious because my whole objective was just to. I just wanted to see how do they think, what point of view do they, uh, what do they view guys, even though they'll tell you one thing, but it's actually the opposite. So that's one thing I found with experience. They say
Yeah.
that one thing, but it's
And
never
they
that. It's always the opposite.
exactly.
It's always the
Yeah.
opposite. So I kind of I picked that up as very early on, when I was approaching girls. But so one thing as a young, that's one thing that I was quite fortunate. I met this woman from South Africa, um,
Okay.
and she was kind of really. I was like,
In Spain?
sorry.
You met her in Spain?
No. I actually met in London.
Oh,
I was
okay,
actually,
okay.
hold on. So yeah, I was actually living up in Newcastle, and then I went to that was the end of the year, like December, and she's actually really famous. She's a sports a therapist for the rugby team in South Africa.
Okay.
So so yeah, I met her like in a nightclub. I was 17 years old. So I got 17. Yeah, I was 17 years. Yeah, I was 17 years old at the time.
Wow.
And I saw this girl. So I just locked. I locked eyes with her. And I just said the stupidest thing ever. I don't even know how that worked. Honestly, it was so fucking stupid. I looked at her and I went straight to her and I told her like I was slicing like a pizza. It was so fucking
Whoa.
stupid. Honestly, she looked at me.
Whoa.
She looked at me like, "Come dance with me." Honestly, I would just say, "What the fuck just happened here?" So 17, so basically like we were just like 30 minutes, and so when we talk, we just like straight spar, and then we just went over to her place. And bear in mind, I was 17. I was in London. I was just with my friends. So I left my friend behind, so I just went. So we had great time. Honestly, it was like fucking awesome. And then,
How old was she?
well, she was 30.
Damn, bro.
She was 30, and
Whoa.
so I went over to her. So that was the beginning of something really special. They really, she really taught me a lot how woman is. So she kind of gave me
Mm.
the insights of how women think. But she kind of told me like, if the woman says like this, then react like this. So she kind of gave me kind of the game, you know. So and but also because we had a very playful. I think this is one of the great things. If you know how to manage women, you have to be playful with them. They love to play. They
Mm.
love to play. They love to have these
They love to have
fun.
fun.
Sorry.
They love to have fun.
Yeah. So like play with them and flirt with them. And I kind of had this really great dynamic with her. She was kind of my master. I was kind of learning from her type of thing. And I would just like I would just play to her ego basically. I was like, you know what? You just teach me everything that you know. I'm your student. I'm here to learn. I play like that, and then she kind of loved it. So yeah, we kind of lasted like for 3, but even though she traveled a lot, so a lot of the time we just talk over I think over time it was Skype.
Mm.
And so yeah, we played. Yeah, we like talked a lot every day through messages or Skype calls and so on. And then once or twice a year, she'll come and visit. She'll come and visit me. We spent like a week. I was still young. I was
Wow.
still kind of like picking up, you know. So I think we both knew that there wasn't gonna be a future, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
fun. It was playful. I think this is what she was fun and playful. So we kind of lasted like 3.5 years. And
Whoa.
we really, we just ended it because she was too busy. And I was like, you know what? I think this relationship, this not going to end anywhere. So it's not going to go anywhere. So I think you can move on with your life, you know? And we just stayed
Yeah.
really good friends to this very day. So she was kind of my first woman that set the bar up really high, actually really, really high. She set the bar for what I want in a woman. And honestly, that was kind of the fucked up thing because every girl that I meet, I would just go like next. It would just not. It would just
Yeah.
wouldn't interest me at all. And I'm a type of guy that I get aroused. I get horny from talking to girls. I like that like conversation. I like to stimulate it because that's how I don't really think with my. I've had girls that really really pretty girls like 9 out of 10, but they just don't excite me.
Mm.
I've had a few of those, and I'm just like, you know what? I just prefer just a normal girl, somebody I can just vibe, I can just talk to, and have a good
Yeah.
conversation. And that conversation, man, that's what gets me high. What gets me wired up. It's almost like I'm on coke. I just I keep talking to her. I could just playing with her with the words and play with teasing and so on. That's my game there. And yeah, once you get into that, then and especially once you've done it quite um, once you've done quite a lot, then you become good at it. So the more you practice, but it's sometimes I go talk to girls just to talk to them, and they get shocked that, oh, I don't want nothing. No, no, no. I just want just to talk to you, just have a conversation with you. And this happened. It's happened. I think about a month ago, a month and a half ago. I went to a festival, and there was this girl. I looked. It's like I came in. Like, as soon as I sat down, I locked eyes with her, and then for the next like 10, 15 minutes, I just like you know. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go approach her. So yeah, I started talking to her and so on, blah blah blah. And then eventually my girlfriend came over, and then I introduced her to her. So it was like, um, so these things just kind of naturally, I think, if you're a guy, if you maintain your frame, and if you do have a girlfriend, but if she knows, I think this is quite important. I mean, what I do, I don't recommend it to anyone. You have to be in your frame, and you have to be very good at leading the
Mm.
people that you are with. But also you also have to establish in a way that no matter what, like we are together.
There's
This
that
is
trust.
this is how I started because a lot of the insecurity the girls get is from they get into this mindset where, oh, if he's with another girl then he's gonna leave me. So
Mm. Yeah.
I've I pretty much like tell my girl, listen, you are my queen, she's my side bitch. That's it. Like this is how I kind of operate. Like she cannot take your place. You're there. Like, and if you repeat that enough times, they'll believe you and they will trust you. You know. So yeah, and so yeah, I was just anyway talking to the girl, so on, blah blah blah. And then my girlfriend eventually went to the toilet with her. And then I was talking to this other girl, just like talking blah 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 blah, da, 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 da. And this was really really kind of interesting. This conversation I was having with these two girls. They were like some friends. And what was it? Yes. So eventually, one of the girl asked me, "So are you kind of want a threesome with me?" And I was like, "No, just have just a conversation, just kind of cool." And they just kind of looked at me like shocked, And I was like, you know, you can definitely tell that they kind of like they were not expecting her.
Mm.
I could say like if I wanted to, I could say yeah. Sometimes I just say yeah, just kind of to play with them. But sometimes if you say the opposite, they kind of like nah. Or you can just say something like nah, you're not good enough for me. Um, or some kind of bullshit. Oh, you know what? Nah, I just, I'm good. She was like, she got shocked when I said, she kind of looked at me like they her friend. I was like, yeah. Anyway, let's just, guys, I leave alone. I'll see you later. Boom, that was it. So
Oh.
it's you have to be. I mean, yeah, I am in a place of abundance. So because I do have a girlfriend, but I've always kind of even when my mentality. So when I was single, my mentality is like this: I'm the man, and I'll never chase a woman. Like never, like never. I've never chased a woman. I've always been.
Mm.
If I'm on the way I think is that if I'm on this road here walking and I see another girl on the side lane, I'll never step over to her side just to meet her. She will either have to come, or she will have to be on my way, or she comes from the opposite way but crossing me. If that happens, that's kind of my signal to say, okay, right, I can eventually start moving in. But I will never just randomly just go to a girl. It's that's the way I've always been, and it's work. I mean, I've always had options, always, and
Wow.
that's
Awesome.
this mentality, this mindset of abundance. Just like, you know what, you you will not, like, I will not cross over just to meet a girl. She would either have to come to me. So that mentality allow me to be more calm. And when I do approach the girl, approaching it in a way is I'm not looking for nothing. I'm just like talking. And as soon as you kind of take that out of your head, this mentality, like instead of like, oh, I need to, talk to her, I need to kind of impress her. And once you go into that, then that's when you tend to make more mistakes, and it can look. Girls are very socially adaptive, so they will see that, they will smell it on you. They will see that you are trying too hard. The
Mm.
less, it's like the one thing that I found with attraction in seduction, the less kind of you try, the more it works. It's like men and women, we are completely opposites. Even with everything that we do, we are completely opposites.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
a female was always looking for masculine men, and a man was looking for a female. So it's always we always kind of like this on the sort of the seduction and the sort of this seduction energy. So this playful thing, we always kind of wanted to beat each other, but it's kind of works more like as a level. But one goes up, the other must goes down. You can never match because otherwise you're gonna collide and it's never gonna have attraction. Attraction works to the opposite. So yeah.
All right. This has been a really, really awesome conversation. So,
Oh, yeah.
clearly you're big on cold approach. So, what's your views on dating apps and Instagram to get girls?
Yeah, I've had a few experience, but to be honest with you, I don't like it. I downloaded I forgot the dating app now. Tinder, sorry. I
Okay.
downloaded once the Tinder app. I used it for like a week, and I got like two. Oh, this is hilarious. Actually, I have to tell you. So the first time I downloaded Tinder, so the first week I got like four matches,
Okay.
and so one didn't work. So one of the girls was like, too, just too boring. And the other three, they actually ended up being friends, and then I converted them into clients, converted to
Whoa.
training clients. So we just went just to plainly actually got money out of it. So I started. My intention was just to go kind of date, but then yeah, then I found out like dating app just for me, it just doesn't work. I prefer just to meet people face to face, and that's my frame. I prefer just face to face always. You can try to meet, kind of meet someone outside the on the dating apps that's from a different area. He can. Some guys do. I have a friend. I don't know how he gets it. Honestly, he just gets almost every night a different girl. But with
Whoa.
me, that doesn't work. But I think it's just the way how I adapted my strategy of meeting girls more. It was more face to face rather than
Yeah.
being online. But I
Online.
suppose it's also the way that how you verbalize it. how you communicate. It's different communication over text and when you communicate over face to face. So that's a big difference. So if I know the guys that will do it and they will do really good. So here where I live in Mallorca, so they have you heard of Magaluf?
Nope.
No, so Magaluf is a very popular place for tourists, especially for British, to go in. It's like a big party town. Like,
Okay.
people come, like you get teenager, kids from all over the world that come to Magaluf, just party. It's like cheap drinks, lots of girls, sex everywhere. It's like crazy. Also can be a very violent place. So I know a friend who used to kind of work as a security, and the stories they used to tell me, honestly, like just like, fuck, I don't know how the fuck you do it. Honestly, he used to do security guard with this other guy in the club, and he used to just like see the girls, get the girls in, and bang them. Like 5 minutes later, he come back
Whoa.
again, and then see another girl, grab her, go. Like it was just madness. This is how, like, that's how it is here in Magaluf, like during the summer. So yeah, I mean sometimes like per night you used to get like 2 to 3 girls, just like honestly, just like cold, just get the girls, hey, I like you, come over here, boom. And I was like, so yeah, I'm too conscious. I know what the consequences are, so it's like I'll never do that. I'll never, never, never do that. So yeah, and what I was gonna say. So what's, I
All right.
forgot.
So what are your views on night game? What do you suggest guys do when it comes to running night game?
So to be honest, the night game, it's no different compared to day. What a So they have this one rule which you can follow is normally if you go into a place and you see a girl that you like and you just go approach her. There's another method. So if you're quite a bit shy, you can go the approach it, sorry, the way that you can buy a girl a drink, but I'll never do that. I'll never do that.
Hmm.
And then the reason why is because you want to control this. So I've approached these girls like this. Hey, um, do you want? I would like to talk to you. I would like, can I grab you to the side? I've got something to share with you. And then you just started to rumble your game, or one of the things I used to do is I used to go, I've got a friend, and he's got a girl, like a girlfriend, and I just kind of get her to get a female perspective. And again, it's just another way to play with her. And I just ask her, I've got this friend, he's got a girlfriend, and I just need the female perspective, and I'll come up with a story, and it just kind of said, what do you think? And she kind of gave me a point of view and so on, blah blah blah. And then we just started talking, 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 and eventually one thing leads to the other, and that's kind of like when you can start to infiltrate on that sense. If you are like in a club or bar, that works. That works really really well. I've tried that. But if you're out, kind of outside, or in a restaurant, it can work as well. It can work as well. I haven't tried restaurant, but I definitely like in clubs. I think this is kind of where festivals and restaurants, festivals and clubs, that works really well. But definitely come in, approach it in a you want to control
The
the
frame.
situation, yeah, the situation. Don't allow her to control the situation. So never approach a girl by her drinks. Like if you do, get her to buy you a drink, and you can just kind of playful play with her. If you wanna, talk a little bit more, I think buy me a drink and then we can take it from there. They kind of like, buy you a drink because I know that this doesn't work like that. Well, if you want to get to know me, so kind of play like you are the price, not her, and
Yeah.
now you're kind of like fucked up a bit the mind is what's going on here, and that's kind of the always the approach. You want to come in like you are the value, not her. And if you keep that in mind, if you keep always approach a girl with that in mind, that you are the price, not her, you are the mind, not her, you're the valued one, not her. And that if over time, then eventually started to come into the mindset of abundance, and your game, your the way how you communicate, will started to change as well. And also I think for the guys that which I highly recommend for every guy, do some reading in psychology, do some reading NLP. I'm currently doing NLP. I've always had like a course.
What did
So,
you
and
call it?
sorry,
What did you call it?
what the course?
You said LLP. What did you? I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah, NLP is neuro linguistic programming.
Okay, neuro linguistic program. Okay, okay,
Program, yeah,
okay.
that's what it is. So basically it's just the way how you're able to have but the neuro, basically what it means is just how you perceive the information. The linguistic is a part of what do you do with that information, right? And the programming is how you're gonna interpret that information. So how you're gonna get that out. So, for example, um, like this cup here, okay. So I see this cup. So this is the first information. The first thing I see is like, oh, it's a cup. And the next thing is, ooh, is it heavy? Is it light? This is how your mind is gonna interpret that. And then eventually, okay,
Mm.
what do they do with it? So the outcomes of what they do with the cup. Do they drink it? Do they throw it away? And so on. So this is how we think with this process. And once you start to understand it, then you can start to come up with the strategies to come up with the different ways to communicate, and or even in a way it's almost like trick. Not I don't want to say it badly, like trick, kind of piss away the other person, and if you know how to use it, the psychology of communication, then it's gonna make it much easier to approach somebody, approaching a girl, or even like, I mean, this stuff works for everything. You can do for work wise, you can do it for, to picking up girls, and you can work to communicate better with your family, even if you have a bad relationship with your parents and so on, or any relatives. And this stuff, it just allows you to see things in a different perspective and change your perspective of the one thing that it hurt you, okay? And you look in a different way, and now that's going to give a different outcome, a different approach to a different conclusion, should I say.
Wow, wow. I'm really learning a lot, man. I'm really learning a lot.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, yeah. Man, this is what we're here for. We're just here to, pass on information. I'm really passionate about this stuff.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I
I
can
love
see that. I
what
can
you're
really see
doing.
that.
And I love what you're doing. You're really kind of getting yourself out there, and I really like cheer for you. I hope you really like succeed in this. I myself, I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
do just recently. I want to do as well, kind of podcast type of thing. Get people, get girls on board, get guys, and just like have a intellect conversation, a really really depth. I'm the type of guy I like to people kind of talk about the relationship, what's going on, but I kind of go, okay, these are the problem. Then I'll kind of break it down. Okay, these are other problems. Boom, 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 boom. And once you highlight each problem, then I'll go even further down into the mind, into how you think. Why do I think like that? Why does this have to be this way? So I kind of really go into the depth of your subconscious to understand why do I behave a certain way. So that gives me this kind of sort of the drive to say, like, when I talk to somebody, I'm like, I want to know, like, I want to learn everything. So if you're good at listening, I mean, you become good at listening by listening to people. But if you talk to somebody, everybody has a story to tell. Like for me, every person is like a book. Okay,
Yeah.
their life experiences for me to learn. It's like whatever they've done, whatever they've done in life, whatever they're doing. It's like for me, it's like rate. It's like and absorb everything that they've learned. And so now I have an experience on top of mine, and this is how I see individuals, the people that I talk to. It's like for me, it's just like I'm living my life, but at the same time, I've talked to hundreds of people. That's 100 life I've know on the top of mine. So I know I'm able to kind of feel, okay, this person had this experience, this person had this very similar experience, and this. I was like, I wonder why they all think like this. And that's giving another level of to think. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I kind of started to like break it down. Why do they all think like this? It could be the family, or it could be the boyfriend, it could be the girlfriend, it could be the way how they communicated. And then I kind of just like really start to really break it down. Then eventually, when you get good enough at this, it can be like, if you're not good at internalize kind of looking at yourself internally, kind of analyze the things that you do. sometimes you have to write it down. So for me, I kind of created this mind, this a spider graph in my mind, and I kind of go. I have the objective in the middle, and it's here I started to break everything apart. So and I started to go down, down as many levels as I can until I say, okay, I think from this I can't get any further. I've got into the bottom of what I believe is the problem, right? And then from there, I kind of go, kind of go through. I go through each step, and then once I get into the step, I'm like, oh, I don't know much about this. I was like, okay, let me find out a little bit more about this subject. And that's kind of how my mind works like that. And I've applied this, and I've become really good at um, reading people. Reading, I can almost like it got to one point where I would talk to somebody, like I can talk to a girl and I would talk to her
Mm-hmm.
for 5 minutes and I can tell you if she's a good bet for me for marriage or not, or if she's a girl
Yeah.
who has a good value. At 5 minutes, the way she talks, the way she behaves,
Yeah.
the language that she's using, the words that she's using, that's a very, very important thing as well. It's a key thing. I'm just able to know now she's just to play and that's it. Like, but you're only able to get to that point if you're the type of person that you are interested in people. If
Yeah.
if you're interested in people, you will learn a lot from them because
Exactly.
you see, each individual is like an algorithm. They giving out they giving out codes about themselves or who they are as a person, and then you
Mm.
just have to kind of compartmentalize like everything in your head. To say, okay, they have like this, they have this value, da, 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 and then you kind of know, okay, right, nice person. So I can tell, I even can tell if the person is good or bad. And this is sometimes I'm really good at assessing people. Just talking to them for a few minutes, I can tell this is gonna sound a little bit no, but it's not so much millimeter, but the energy. So talking to you 5 minutes, so the way how you approach it, the way how you use your body language, how you behave is sort of your kind of energy. I can tell that if you're the type of person that if you've been through a lot in life, if you struggled quite a bit in life, um, and also if you've been a good person overall. I've had this one experience where I was working on this. This was like years ago. That was I was in Brazil, and
Mm-hmm.
I was actually from went back from a holiday. So I was walking this on the street, and I noticed this person coming in. I don't know why. I just my eye just locked. I just noticed this guy coming over, and I was like, I started approaching. I was like, this guy's got really dark, so like something really weird. I just didn't, just felt uneasy the way he walked, the way kind of like his eye movement and his whole body movement. I was like, this guy doesn't sound good. Doesn't look good. And like, this guy's up to something. And then on that same day, I went home. I was watching the news, and that guy, he came, like he went on the news. And basically, he just murdered like two guys. He just shot two guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how
Whoa.
freaky. That's how freaky it is. And so I'm like, I don't know if I've got superpowers, but this stuff is like, honestly, even to this very day, I tell people like to get shocked. So, so yeah, I've kind of learned how to read people's body language, how they walk, how they talk, with the eye movement, and I'm still learning. I mean, like sometimes I do things like out of instinct, and then afterwards I could read about it. It's like, that's why I do that. It's like, that's why I do
Mm.
that. So this has happened to me many, many times. Like I'm very good at creating making someone feel comfortable. Right? If you're talking to somebody, if you want to make them feel comfortable, I often repeat what they say, or I kind of sound a little. It's called mirror. It's a mirror technique. So you mirror the other person. So you kind of like sound a little bit like them. So if they speak slow as them. Just be fast and then try it as much as you can. So that creates a good dynamic to kind of they sort of feel comfortable with you, so they
With
can
you,
talk
yeah.
to you, so they can open up with you. And I've always done that. And then once I was reading a book and I was like, and I read this, I was like, oh, so that's how I'll do that. So these things, they've actually I learned through life. I learned through my instinct, my inner nature, kind of just like I just I don't I can't tell when I learned it, but it's just like I know
It
that
just
I've done.
happens.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really this is something really fascinating about human beings and life, which I'm like I really like I get excited when these things
Sure.
happen, and it's just like I want to learn more. I want to get to the pinnacle of finding out what the human being can do, as a species. What's the best way we can communicate? And I've always been like fascinated with about human psychology, getting to know people behave, how they behave, and so on.
All right. Wow. So, getting back to the interview, what are some of the mistakes guys make during the early stage of meeting a girl?
Well, frame. That's number one thing. Frame not coming across a little bit confidence, but I mean confidence is it's a very tricky thing to tell because you have it or you don't. You can learn it, but it would take
Hmm.
quite some time for you to build up to
To
that level.
master it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to go through a lot of error, kind of you have to go a lot in the field, just kind of approach people. I would say the best way, honestly, is to have female friends. I've always had female friends around me, and I think me having female friends, even though they say that you shouldn't have female friends, but because as my job, my personal trainer, I train a lot of girls, so
Hmm.
I always have a nice affinity with the girls. I just know how to play with them. So I think by having these clients as girls, I was getting myself accustomed to being around them, and I think that
Hmm.
made my game better. Because when I approach it, I don't have the awkwardness. I just approach it just like in my head, just like as I would with my client. So for me, it would have I got good approach by being around my clients, my female clients, right? And so
Yeah.
I would say, okay, so you for a guy, if I'm a bit shy around girls, then just have female friends.
Hmm.
And that's I think this is kind of common sense to me. So be around them a little bit more. Just hang it. Don't approach them um just to hit on them. Just approach them. Just kind of just even if you just pick one or two girls that you think they're okay, just being around them, it's just gonna allow them to be comfortable. But don't come don't come with the idea that I wanna like fuck them. Just come with the idea I wanna be friends with them.
Friends with them. Yeah.
Yeah, be friends with them. And the thing is like this is a weird thing. I've had girls that put me on a friend zone, right? And I still fuck
Mm-hmm.
them afterwards, right?
Hmm.
And this is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of can play with that a little bit. It was tricky for me to get to that point. But yeah, I mean, if you can sort of play, have approach them just for the friendship side of things, and then once you get used to it, they will introduce you to their friends as well. And this is another beautiful thing about I've got friends with girls, which they also introduce me to their friends, and I've had like girls that they have friends that are really really hot. I'm like, who? So once you and this is the great thing about that since female are very socially aware of things. So if you're a guy and if you're around girls, okay, and if there is a girl that is from the outside and she doesn't know you, but she knows that you are comfortable around this group of girls, they will come after you. They will, and for you to just take that
They
step.
will,
You
they
just
will be attracted to you.
Yeah, exactly. They're just so easy. And I've done this before in a club. So I've been around like two friends of girls, they're really pretty, and I will see just one girl, just kind of go, okay. Honestly, I just kind of go like, I look at her, and I was like that, and she just come, and just because she has to be aware that you are around other girls, like because if you just come in and you see the girl and then she haven't noticed you before, then it's gonna be a little bit hard. But you have to be so. they look for they will look they will get they will get the assurance from the social peers. So if you are around girls and they see that you constantly can talk, interact with them, they'll be much easier to approach you. You can approach them so much easier. So I think the establishing frame and then be around girls just for the friendship. Okay, just for
Okay.
the friendship, and that will definitely build that. That will definitely make you a more confident man around girls.
Hmm. Now, speaking about frame, what's your opinion on Jonah Hills? I don't know if you've heard about Jonah Hill, the
Oh yeah,
American
yeah,
actor.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, what's your opinion on his ex accusing him of emotional abuse and misogyny, for
Yeah.
having boundaries?
Funny thing, I was just watching the whatever podcast about it. I didn't catch so much. I don't know much about the situation, but in my idea, so this is what I believe. So you as a celebrity, okay, and I think
Mm-hmm.
this comes across with all celebrities, all right. You on a spotlight all the time. As society progresses, female they are so that the females they are being more empowered and more, so they're becoming more sort of like, they because they think that they can get away with everything, and especially with the happening with Johnny Depp and all other events which we don't know, there's a lot more that's happening. So you, if you're a man, if you're a celebrity and if you looking to date a girl that's your level a little bit lower, you have to be really, really careful, especially because the girls that who have high status, they have another mentality of how a guy should date, how a guy should treat them.
True them.
So I think that if you're a guy, if you're a celebrity, then I think the best way you can do is to date someone that's not a celebrity, date someone that's a nobody. You're gonna have the best option to kind of to be happy with the with the person, because if
But
you
Sarah is not a celebrity.
yeah, no,
It's
yeah,
ex.
no, celebrity, she's a famous surfer, isn't she? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing. So she's always like on the spotlight. She's a, I'm sure she got a lot of followers. So that kind of plays a lot with the female mind. So the things about social media as well, which it does to the female brains, that they learn how to get validation a lot. So it's almost like they need the likes and the clicks to get validation from people, and this become the
Yeah.
drug to them, And I
Mm.
see it. I see a lot. Yeah, I see a lot. Just the girls just posting that app for example, my Instagram. I see a lot of the girls on my feed, and they have boyfriends, and they posting photos of themselves, videos of themselves with bikinis, with the girls and a night out with the boyfriend. And if you go through the page, it's just like pictures that I'm thinking, yeah, you're just advertising yourself quite a lot.
Exactly.
And yeah, so I think he did good, but I think I don't know. The thing is, I don't know the time frame when this happened. So there were I looked in the text message, the time, the year, I think was in 2021. So this is
21.
being,
Yeah.
yeah. So
2 years ago.
I don't know when they started the relationship and how long did it take him to establish that. But I think the reason why that happens because he didn't establish the frame correctly as a man. So it's kind of was a little bit his fault.
Exactly.
But I tell you one thing about girls when they know that they have the right guy is that they will switch off the Instagram. They won't post no pictures. Sorry, the when the girls know that she's with the right guy, she'll just do it that automatically without even the guy saying it.
Are
This
you
is
sure
the
there are girls like that?
sorry.
Are you sure there are girls like that that will instantly, delete their Instagram for their boyfriend?
Yeah, yeah.
Because sometimes when they get dislikes and comments, they get so addicted to the attention and the validation, and they don't want to leave it. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with it. but it's something that I've always done. So this is one thing that I've always established from the very beginning. I think every guy should be doing it, and this actually helped me to reduce a lot of chaos and a lot of headache in a relationship.
Mm.
I know a lot of us, we tend to get into toxic relationship. Even though I would say very few guys that would be toxic. I think it just more comes from the film because we're kind of a reflection of the females. Um, when a guy when we get into a toxic relationship, I can say from experience because I've also been in a toxic relationship myself. It was not pretty. As in, there was no beating. I don't condone that. So I don't agree with hitting. I established from day one, like when I'm go out with a girl, and if I see her like a potential for a relationship and so on. So if you're a guy, if you're meeting a girl, and if you see her, or this girl, she can like she's a potential for girlfriend long term. So the quicker you establish these boundaries, or who your frame is, what you like, what you don't like, the more she will respect you. So I've always
Mm.
done this. I've always done this by instinct. Like nobody told me to do it. I just done it. So every time when I meet a girl from the very beginning, I've always kind of go into this conversation about, okay, so what do you like in a guy? What do you don't like in someone? Blah 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 blah. And then that leads me to say, well, you know what? In a relationship, I don't agree with I don't agree with violence. Okay, so
Mm.
I have this rule with violence. If you hit me once, like if a guy hits me once, it's over. That's it, done. Like I give no, there's no coming back. There's no nothing. Like I'm just
Exactly.
straight to the point. I'm just dry. So there's no second time. There's no nothing. So she already knows that. I've already established that from the day one, right? And you can say, I mean, you can kind of go like, so when it comes like to this social media thing, like posting photos and pictures, the way how I do it is like, I kind of like I tell them a story, like how I imagine my girl. Like if I'm gonna take a girl serious, or if I want to go for a relation, kind of go, I would like her to like I like her not to be posting so much online because I believe that if you post too much of a photo of yourself, it means that, from my perspective, just means that you kind of looking to advertise yourself, and then it's gonna make me look bad, and I don't want that. I'm quite private person. Like I'm very private individual. I don't post. I don't talk about my relationships on the social media. I don't, I don't post naked photos. I don't like when I go post naked photos. Sorry, and semi naked or with the bikini and so on. So once you have an idea what you want, you just put that in a really nice way. Of course, it can't be too strong because again, that's another thing is that sometimes the men and female we communicate very differently when it comes to,
Yeah.
let's be more direct. So I know that, and I know I have to play a little bit more soft with her, so for her to understand. So I'm being a smarter one by controlling the conversation. I'm not
Mm.
allowing her to control the conversation. I control the conversation, the tone of the conversation, the words that I use to her, very specific, so that she could understand it. So the more I communicate, verbalize the words into her, I kind of have to play a little bit soft. So kind of play a little bit like the beta side of me. So I kind of will play a little bit soft, but in my head, the alpha, the part of me say, well, yeah, you have to keep establishing. If you keep doing that, blah 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 blah, and she will get to the conversation will get to one point, or she'll kind of agree with it. Yeah, no, you're right. And you kind of ask her opinion. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Once you kind of understand that, you've won her. That's it. She's already in your frame.
Mm.
But I established that from day one. From day one, I don't wait until day two, day three, or months later. No, I do it from the very beginning. Like, and the great thing is that it acts as a great filter, because if you're the type of guy, if you're looking for a serious relationship, okay, that's gonna help you to eliminate the girls that just want something quick thing. And the girls that's looking for a serious relationship, she will see that, oh shit, he knows what he wants, he this and that. He's like, oh, okay, good, great. Okay, I want possibly this guy to be my boyfriend. So
Mm.
it's what I've noticed when I say that, it's happened a lot. The girls that just want a quick thing, just a quick sex. they'll kind of go, yeah, I'm not into that. It's like, okay, then you switch your game. Okay, all right, that's fine. If that's what you want, that's great because you know I'm
They
the
cannot
same
be
way with
together.
you. So you can just kind of play the game with them, so we can kind of like halfway through if she tells you that you don't. So can you hear? Oh, it's froze the camera. Nope. What's happening here? It's froze. Oh, it,
I'm back.
oh yeah, you're back. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so where was I? Yeah, so we're just talking about the point. So yeah, what the way how I approach things, it acts as like a filter.
Mm.
Sometimes without when I wasn't aware of it, I used to come up with these. So I used to approach the conversation on the first day, and sometimes I used to think, "Fuck, this girl just wants a relationship, but I don't want to have a relationship. I just wanted to play around." And it kind of backfired on me, you know. But then afterwards, after so many years, and then realized, why did I do that? So once I started to read it, understand it, how the dynamics work of attraction, the seduction, okay, then you kind of start to understand. Now I understand why I used to say that at the beginning. Da, da, da. So now, this has become like a toolbox for me. So if I'm not that I'm gonna start to looking for new girlfriends, but it's a good tool to have it, and sometimes I'll pass it on to friends, and I'll pass it on to my clients who want that extra game. But I think you only get to that point if you become good at filtering women, but you only become good at if you only become good at filtering if you're a good communicator. And if you for you to be able to build good communication, you have to be able to get to know them. And I know a lot of the guys that kind of think of the day can just like, oh, I just don't want to fuck, I don't want to talk up to this bitch. That's when I think I'm guessing
Jonah.
for the guys who experience that doesn't matter because they can get it anyway. So most of for the alpha men's and for the guys who has game, that for them doesn't matter. But for the guys who looking to build, who don't have the alpha status or who don't have game, you know, that's really important. That's really important for you to approach a girl with a mindset of just getting to know them, and then find ways how you can seduce her and attract her a little bit more. Ask a question, ask a really deep intellectual question. Use horoscope or whatever. That's for me it works.
Yeah.
And the girls love to play this fantasy, seduction game, and ask their opinion on what they think what they should do when it comes to this situation, so on and so on. It's a great opener to get them to speak and get them to see the point of view. And once they start talking, you kind of go, "Ooh, I can talk about that. I can talk about that. I can talk about that." And then this kind of how it goes. And then eventually, the conversation instead of talking 5 minutes, it becomes a half an hour conversation. And now conversation. Then once they are happy with you, they're confident to talk to you for that long, then of course that can move into other things.
Ah, so it's clear. It's clear. Jonah did not have he never had a frame from the beginning, because if not, he would have
Yeah.
told her from the jump. Yeah. So when do you suggest is the right time for guys to introduce this boundaries? This year on the second date, or immediately they meet the girl?
I would say, so first we have to establish what are you looking for. So
Okay.
if your guy, I mean, a lot of the guys, they don't know what they're looking for with the beginning. Maybe they just want to just have fun, sleep around. Or sometimes they're actually looking, they like this girl because they wanted to, they want this girl to be their girlfriend, but they just don't know how to. So if that's the case, don't be afraid. I just honestly, I just say it on the first day. I just say like you're talking to them and you just kind of go, so how was it? in your previous relationship and so on. It sounds a little bit like, you know, even though you shouldn't be talking about too much because sometimes that can trigger certain things. But if you're
Yeah.
clever, if you're smart with your how you word it, to say what was your take from the previous relationship? What was the positive thing? What was the negative things? And you don't want, the whole idea is just to get her to be a little bit more, get her emotions going. That's what there is to it. Okay. And the whole idea is not. I've had girls that I was talking to them. They kind of go into the really sad stage, and so then I had to bring it up the emotional level, make her a little bit more happy. So the whole idea is just to get the emotions going. Once they are emotion, like in the state of emotion, then you can start off kind of implement your ideas. Okay, I want to go because of this and this and this and this, and you know, and if you, and then like if you are the girl, then if you accept this, then that's great. But sometimes you have to be really direct, so they can, so then it's the idea of being direct to them is they're gonna see on you as like, did he just really ask me that? It shows that your strength, that you're confident enough for you to say that on the first day. If
Mm.
if they don't want it, that's just a loss. But eventually, if you keep doing that, then eventually you're gonna find a girl who accepts you and your frame in the first day. Which I have to say, all the girls that I have approached for girlfriends, I did exactly the same thing, and I was successful with them for a relationship.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Like you introduce your boundaries to them.
on the first day, yes, on
Oh,
the
wow.
first day, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And that worked because I showed that I'm not afraid of saying things. I'm not afraid of, even if you don't agree, that's okay, because I'm gonna say, I'm gonna establish how I want the relationship to run, and if they want to be on, if you want to be on my side, this is how I am. And they, all the ones that I've put, they accept it. Okay, but you can
Wow.
only do that. You only do that if you want to go to for relationship. But if you just want it just for one night stand or whatever it may be, then it's good to establish as well, with these friends, but later on. So that's something that or maybe if you're not too sure about the girl, and then eventually have a few dates, 2 3 weeks later, 2 3 weeks later, so, and then you can start to establish that, bit by bit. And so that's kind
Wow.
of what it is. So yeah, I think the reason he's having this issue here, is because he didn't quite establish frame at the beginning. So inside he has to,
Exactly.
he has to reassure him. He has to what's the word I'm looking for? So he has to re-mention that to her over text message. These are things that I would also say kind of verbally to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she didn't know quite. She didn't know. Even though sometimes girls, the thing girls will they always will shit test you.
Sorry?
The girls will always shit test you.
Oh, yeah,
Always,
sure, sure,
always,
sure. Yeah.
always, always. They'll never stop. That's like, for me, like when my girl she tests me, I was like, like get out of here, And I was sometimes just kind of tell her no, like I'm not gonna do that or whatever that may be. Um, so so yeah, this is never. Girls will always keep pushing the boundary. They're always gonna keep pushing. Some
Mm.
girls are more submissive, but some girls are more submissive compared to the other girls. Um, some girls understand, from the day one, they set the main boundaries that they've established. But over time, when you get into a relationship, then you start to get these little things, maybe they telling you to do too many things. I did like sometimes my girl, she telling me to do too many things. Like, no, that's your job. I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's your job to do this. I do this job. When I have to do my job, I don't tell you to do my job. So don't tell me to do your job. That's
Exactly.
how I approach it. So we have a very traditional role. So I do all the many stuff, all the carrying, all the building, know, and she would do the cleaning, the stuff for the house, and so on. Sometimes when so so how do I say this? So sometimes when I know that, oh, we're in a rush, we need to go somewhere, and I know that she's cleaning, I will help her. Like, I'm not that shy with these things. I'm not just kind of one sided. No,
Yeah.
we will adjust it. It just depends on the situation that we in, and that goes vice versa as well. So if you know how to establish this balance, you always you're gonna be always content in your relationship. You're always gonna be you're always gonna be happy, and obviously, even you can have the you can how to say this, you can be the guy with the highest frame with the set all the boundary, but the girls, she's always gonna shit test you no matter what. She was gonna shit test you because she wants to see if you're still the man that she fell in love with from day one. She wants to see that you're still the alpha that she fell
Yeah.
in love with, or whatever that may be for you. And that's the simple truth. It's in her psyche, it's her psychology. She's always gonna test the guy, always gonna test the guy. You just gonna have to become good at it. I just become so good at it. Like she tests me, I'm like, I look at her, I just pass by, I just like can't. I'll even laugh. I'll look at her like I'll laugh. And she laughs back as well because she knows that I've already told her, that
Okay.
she's testing me, yeah. And she kind of like looked at me, it's like, and we start laughing to each other. So yeah. So yeah, go on, sorry.
All right. So what are the traits men should look out for when choosing a partner?
What tricks men should? I
Like
didn't hear the
what positive traits? Positive traits. Yeah.
positive tricks
Yeah.
for for in a relationship. Is that what you mean, or is
Yeah.
that
Like when choosing a partner, when choosing a girl. Yeah.
okay? Right. So what things you could do? What this is? I would say there's no tricks. I would say
No, no positive traits. Traits like
traits. Oh, right. Sorry. Traits.
yeah,
Okay.
to
So
look out for.
yeah. Okay. So hmm, one way that I don't even have to look at the girl. I just have to hear her. I can have my eyes, so I can have
Mm,
like ghost talking, and I can blindfold myself. I can tell who's the most feminine girl, the feminine nature. Is a girl that
yeah.
very smooth, very quietly. She's with those. She's a quiet. She doesn't swear. Right, that's one thing I know. Girls that are feminine in a true feminine nature. They don't swear. They talk
Yeah,
of
true.
they're very very quiet. They're very calm.
Very reserved.
Yeah, and there's that purity nature of her. She's not
Yeah,
and the girl that just talk too much. Yeah, that's a big no. That's a red flag.
that's a red
So,
flag. Yeah.
so I listen to how they sound, how they talk, how they communicate. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and there's one really good one. I'm not sure if you've seen fresh on whatever podcast. There was this girl. God, I forgot. I can't remember. She was I think the one that came
What
up with.
episode?
I can't remember which episode, but she was a black girl. She was from the army.
Okay.
She's a black
Is he
girl
on the
from
is he on the whatever podcast?
yeah, whatever podcast. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
she's a
okay.
black
I
girl in
remember
the
that
army. She
episode.
had braids on. I think this would have been
Yeah,
2 months ago or so, 2 3 months ago. I would
yeah,
say
yeah, yeah.
3 months ago. And and honestly, like just listen to her. I was like, God, I love to be like to be around her, just talk to her because she just bring me tranquil, like peace. Just the sound, just the
Yeah.
way how she's quite calm, the way she talks, she's respectful, and that's the thing. Like the first thing I noticed is a feminine nature. How is she
Mm.
feminine? And is one of the things I've noticed as well. A man if you're a man, if you are in touch with your masculine energy, if you're at the top of your game in terms of masculinity, you started to notice the feminine. It's like you've become you put your lenses on, like your kind of your red pill, your masculine lens on, and you'll be able to see different. You see different, you hear differently.
Yeah, that's true.
This is one thing that I've noticed myself. So the more I'm in touch with my masculine nature, the more I can hear, the more I can see it. It's like
Yeah,
it's like
that's
second
true.
it's like second nature. It's like, oh, I noticed, like I can pick it up like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first one is like how they feminine. Okay. Second one is how they dress. Like the dress is how they put the clothes on. That's a big thing. So a girl that's feminine, a girl that's very much into her female nature, she will always put a clothes on that's kind of covering her boobs, covering herself. She's not putting dress to
Right.
conceal her boobs. She's not very. She's the way how a girl that's very feminine she would dress differently compared to the girl who's very liberal, who's very kind of
That's
outgoing,
true.
around a lot. So she would dress like a hoe. And the girl
Yeah.
that's very feminine, she kind of dresses just like a normal girl. She's like a traditional woman. You put it that way.
Conservative, yeah.
Very conservative. So the first, so that's kind of the main thing. So the sorry, so to say, so there was a feminine, how she's in her feminine nature, the way
The
how she,
dressing.
the ways how she dresses, how she her body behavior as well, um, her body behavior. So and then the second, so the after that, so if you do know the girls, for example, if you're on the social media and if you they easy want to take a look at it, so you easy want to filter if the girl is not a hoe, is look at her Instagram, look at her pictures. As a guy,
Yeah.
she look at her pictures. If she got too much of pictures showing her body, showing the dimension that she's a girl that looks for too much male validation. She's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
bad bet for you for as a guy if you want to take her serious. Okay, and nowadays, but this is the problem with the social media is that they amplifying this yeah, they've amplifying this from a female, so this sort of outer ego. So they've amplifying more of the ego even more. Girls already have like crazy amount of values, especially if they're in the early 20s. And with the social media, they amplify that even more, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of become addicted to the idea of validation. So they post a photo with video online and they get lots of guys, liking it, sending messages, and that shit is crazy. That shit like is a cocaine
Really
like,
crazy, man. Really
this is like
crazy.
okay, this is like drugs like 100 times all day long, and you get used to that. You get used to that. So and I'm on the social media. I'm very much just like I post what I need to do, but I tend to stay away from it because in my girlfriend is all. I mean, she just goes just to take a look at memes. But the last time she posted a post was like maybe last year. Even like
Mm.
just like a month, maybe a month or two after we started dating. And then she just haven't posted no photo, no nothing, just maybe videos of us together, and that's it. And this is what I mean when your guy when you establish frame the goal, she would just do it. You don't even have to ask her
Yeah.
to do these things for you because if she's doing it and if she's doing these things, then you have to explain to her why. Well, that's because you haven't established frame or you're not strong enough um on your or on putting your boundaries from the very beginning. Sometimes you have to here and there. Nothing's perfect. I'm like I can understand both sides. I can understand both sides, for myself and also for mistakes that I've made in the past. And the great thing about being a guy is that we can reflect onto those past experience and then kind of go, okay, why did I go wrong with this relationship? And I learned a lot. Honestly, the relationship that I was in for 3.5 years was toxic. I learned a lot. Like I now the knowledge that I have now, if I went back on time, I'd be able to correct that,
Mm.
everything. But yeah, it's a learning experience. But you have to do a lot
Yeah,
of
exactly.
self-reflection, like why did this? So if you're so something very simple. So if you started to have arguments, a lot of arguments in a relationship, this is something I've picked it up a lot as I've picked it up over time. So if you're in a relationship with a girl, and there seems to be a lot of arguments forwards and back. Okay, argument is good, especially sometimes can be playful. Um, but if you notice that it's getting a little bit toxic, then you have an issue with frame. Then you have an established because she's kind of walking all over you, and if she doesn't agree with you, if she doesn't agree with a lot of the things, if you always get to a point and you have disagreements a lot, that's because also you're not clear in your values. And the one thing I could say, well, one thing that I could a way to kind of like a an expense, how do I say this exactly, one way to make this situation better if you have in an arg sorry if you're in an argue if you're arguing a lot with your partner is you sit down and you just listen, I don't want to have more. I'm in a relationship for to be in peace, and I don't want to be arguing over this.
Mm.
And if you just put that peace, I want to be in peace. Next time she argues, you know what, I just want to be in peace. If you repeat that long enough, she will understand. You would just have to say, I just want peace, and then she kind of will see if your energy, like you know, she's not even gonna challenge you anymore. She's just gonna know it.
Exactly.
She may
Mm.
even like once in a while test you, but over time, it's like humans. We also learn from this behavior. But if you establish a hook, emotional hook, you know, and if you kind of, but first you have to explain to her to say if you're arguing a lot, so to say, listen, I don't want to argue anymore. I'm tired of arguing. I'm not in this relationship to be in peace. Like I want you to be my peace. I wanted to come home. I don't want to argue, you know, over stupid things. But if this is happening a lot, then I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna have to let you go. No,
Mm.
they make it like shocked to get a reaction from it. The one, but that's the whole idea is that you controlling it. Listen, um, I'll give you like you know, let's try this, but listen, I just want peace. Like I want peace. You want peace. I want peace. Let's be peaceful. That's it.
Exactly.
And then next, if few weeks goes by and the same thing happens again, I just want peace. If you keep, and if that will happen a few times, then eventually she'll understand it. And then eventually get to the point where she will see how you react. And just like, I just want peace because you've created a hook and an emotional anchor from day one when you've mentioned it, peace, you know. And sometimes you just look at her, you know what, just I just want peace, and then she'll just drop it. She will get to one point, she'll just drop it. But you have to create that emotional hook from the beginning, you know, for you to be able to. You will see that it will have. It will, you have to repeat a few times so then she can understand a little bit. If you are, if let's say if a guy is, if you're in a relationship, and if you're gonna kind of go past the point where you know there's a lot of conflict, there's a lot of arguing in a relationship, but as a man you have to be calm all the time. Stoicism is so important. You have to be calm all the time, and they're gonna try to you know put gasoline into you, and then hopefully you burn it. You can just get me going rage. But that's the whole idea. Once like I know a lot of the time when my girlfriend she tests me and I'm like she's just trying to get emotional response from me. I just know it already. I say that to myself all the I say that to myself. I say that to myself. Keep repeating it. And next time she kind of get triggered or something, then you already know. Actually, just trying to test me, and you just you being aware of that, it just like brings your energy down, and you're like you think differently, you react differently, and it's just a whole like it's just a whole magic. It's crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy this
Wow.
stuff. You
That's
have to be
amazing.
like psychology. Honestly, psychology is everything. Understanding the human mind that made me so much a better human being, you know,
Mm.
for myself, understanding people a little bit more. Even like when I'm like with you, you know, I'm seeing like I'm reacting the way how you see it, and I'm getting good feedback from it. So that means I
Yeah.
must be doing something right, you know. But the whole idea is that I want to give as much as possible, so then we can have other topics to talk about, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that's the whole idea. So then eventually we can start with one thing, we can branch into other things, even though the topic is just kind of dating, but you know,
Yeah.
you see what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. I get. I get. So, last question.
No,
What
it's
are
okay.
what are some of the things men do, men need to do to maintain their masculinity in the relationship?
One thing that the men to do. Okay. Um. So take care of
I know,
yourself.
I know, I know. Frame is number one. Okay, it is one of the things men need to do to
Yeah,
maintain
yeah,
their masculinity. Yeah.
yeah. So frame is a first one, but if you don't have confidence with yourself, then it's hard to establish frame.
Mm.
So I would say hit the gym. You focus on yourself. So hit the gym first. So if you hit the reason why you hit the gym, why go to the gym is because when you build yourself up, your body, so your body is your temple. When you build yourself up,
Mm.
you automatically get noticed. Like it's almost like you shine. And
Mm.
because of that inner confidence, people are gonna see it. and you automatically get validation from that. When you get this validation, it's like, oh, people noticing me more. They can see that I'm better shape and so on, blah blah blah, and that gives you courage to
Mm.
establish frame. Okay, so this
Wow.
whole idea is at first you need to start. So if you want to establish frame, but if you're confident in yourself and you establish frame, that's the first step. Then which is gonna automatically make you a little bit more better. It's gonna help you with your masculinity, your energy, and then build up on your body. So going to the gym or do something that makes you manly. I think this is a good one. Do something that makes you manly. um, I've got a motorbike, so I love going on my bike rides. I go up in the mountains, so that's like raising my testosterone level, like my adrenaline level, And honestly, I get home like honey, it's crazy. so that's one thing. So find something that's gonna be challenging to you, as a man. Um, one of the other things as well which helped me a lot to as a man to build up my confidence is doing martial arts, and I believe that martial arts is the best thing that men can do. Honestly,
Wow.
it's by far the best thing. I cannot I'm so grateful to doing capoeira, to martial arts. When I was younger, I was bullied so at school, I was back in London, and I was bullied in a way because I didn't know. So when I got into the country, I didn't know much English, and I was kind of bullied with the language, and I was not confident with myself. And many times I had to go out of the school because it was just like too much to take in, too much emotion. I was just like crazy, and one thing. So thinking back now as an adult, and I kind of realized the reason why I did martial because I needed to have I needed confidence. I needed to learn how to control my body, to control my emotions. Martial arts helped me with that. Martial arts help you to be
Oh,
disciplined and control your emotions. You know
wow.
that it's like this is a really interesting phenomenon that happens in life. So over here in Spain, so we have a lot of mopeds, like in the island. We have a lot of mopeds, and this funny thing is, it's always the guys with the smaller mopeds that's looking to do the craziest thing during the traffic. But the guys who
What?
have the bigger bike, sorry,
Okay, okay. Moped is a bike, right?
sorry.
Did you say? I didn't get what you called it.
Okay, so I said so moped.
Okay, moped. What is that?
Oh, moped. Okay, moped is just a 50 cc or like a 125 cc bike, motorbike,
Oh, okay,
like
okay,
a
okay,
scooter.
okay.
Yeah, so it's like a 50 cc to 125. Okay, so this one thing about nature, this phenomenon is that also always the guys who have smaller bikes, they wanted to go crazy during the traffic. And it's
Mm,
always the guy who have the biggest bike. They know they have power. They don't use it. They just, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to go crazy through the traffic. I know I have power. I
yeah.
can power whenever I want, like this. Boom. But the guys who have the smaller motorbike, they're the craziest ones through the traffic. So many times I'm going through the traffic and I just someone just passing by me, like, I can overpower them by 10 times, but
Yeah.
I don't need to because I'm okay. I'm secure.
Yeah.
So the same thing happens with your martial arts. So when you are in control, when you know you have the power, and you know you can use it, but
Mm,
you don't because you have self-control. You know that
yeah.
you're a monster, but you can control it. It's
Mm,
exactly the same thing. And for those men who don't do martial arts, they don't have self-control. They are an emotional men, and that's why they always often leads them to they go into rebels, they go fighting, they go into the prisons because they don't have that discipline, they don't have the control of themselves, of the body.
mm,
And one thing I have learned by doing martial arts is that it allowed me to harness that emotion, that control, and I know that I'm capable of doing damage, but I don't do it.
you have
And
the
but
discipline
I know
to
I can
suppress
be a
it.
monster. Yeah, I know I can be a monster. I know I can kill if I want to, but I don't. This is a unique thing. You know you have power, but then you use it. It makes you better. It makes you like I'm in control of myself. This is
Mm,
what this is the beautiful thing about martial arts. And I believe that the reason why they created martial arts from since the beginning of time, since the Chinese. You know, I think this was the reason why it was to give men a way to channel the energy so that they can focus on mind and body control.
Mm.
And I think if men did more, we would have less. I guess I would say also UFC would be much bigger as well because there'll be more people willing to challenge themselves. You know,
Yeah.
but
True.
as a martial arts, and I think this is like a must. This is a must. I would recommend it to any guy out there doing jiu-jitsu, karate, whatever that may be, whatever that you feel like doing it, just do it because that's gonna help you massively just to become control yourself, control your emotions. Yeah, and let's see if I've got another one. I can't think of another one from the top. But those are the main three
Yeah, these are enough. These are good ones.
that kind of like thing. But I think the martial arts one is the biggest one. I think because once I've gone into bullying, so once I've gone to the phase of bullying when I was younger, um, when the kids started to see me that I was trained in martial arts, they never touched me anymore.
Mm.
They know that I had the power. They know that I had the power to do
Yeah.
anything, and they never bullied me again. That was the craziest thing.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
so
Wow.
this is again from a life experience that I had to go through, and it taught me a lot. I mean, I'm grateful that I went through bullying because I went through this phase of my life, so then I can had to push myself and learn this, and then now I have the knowledge to pass it on to the to you know to the guys out there, and even to the kids as well. I mean, like I think martial arts is the best thing that you can do
Mm.
for the humankind, for the human being, men and women, both.
Wow, this has really been an awesome conversation. Like, I'm blown away. I've learned a lot, man. Thank you so much for
Yeah, you're welcome. It's okay. It's
coming.
okay. I know so
All
much
right,
more,
so
but I'm restricted to talking just about that. But yeah, if I appreciate it. But if you in the future, if you want to do a collab as well, another topic,
yeah.
let's go for it. Why not?
Oh, sure, sure, sure. So, where can the people find you?
So for me, just my Instagram, which is Palma Finish underscore coach. So yeah, that's that one there. I do have a YouTube. I'm not kind of using it, kind of like, but I'm gonna get on it. But find me on Instagram. That's the best thing you can do. So Palma
Okay,
Fitness
yeah.
underscore coach.
Yeah, and you offer one-on-one mentorship, right? And coaching. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be bringing some stuff, some programs online. But for now, because I like the idea of working one-to-one basis with individual.
Okay.
I don't have a system yet that we can do that. It just doesn't go with my how I operate, my how I am with people. I'm like sitting down for example, with you. I'm sitting down with you, getting to know you, talk to you. I find more value exchanging information that way, and getting the
Mm.
feedback from the person, how they are and how they move and so on. And now I'm able to tailor some of it. So I have, like, for example, a client is in Poland. He's got money, a lot of money. He trades, and he gets girls, right? But pays girls, so he pays for escort. They even got money as like, I like when I first started with that, how much you spending like a month on escort? Just spending like 15 to 20,000 a month on escort, and like
Whoa.
you fucking crazy, like what the fuck are you doing? It's like you can get
Whoa.
free pussy, if you're good at your game. Like the great thing is if you're good at your game, you know the the escorts or even the strippers, they'll pay you to be around you. They even wanted to be around you. You don't have to pay them, but you just have to be good at your game. So I'm kind of like coaching him, how to get to that level. He's a little bit of a
Mm.
simp. He's a good guy, but he's a little bit of a simp for the girls. And so I'm really trying to kind of help him understand how the dynamics work of between the man and the female. And now, and he's been getting great results. So far, every week we just have a weekly call, and we can talk. We exchange texts every other day or so. and that's kind of how I do. So I have a few clients like that. That I at the moment I'm only working with the really high paid clients, so clients who can afford to pay to. I would say the type of clients I worked are very successful men. That's a really high level
Hmm.
CEOs of companies and so on. And it was funny thing how I came across that. I have a friend. I have lots of girlfriends that are strippers and escorts. So I've contacted one of a girl that I know that is a stripper, and then she knows somebody, and then she happens to know a guy as well, one of her clients. So I've actually poached her clients from her. So now, so he's kind of a little bit more aware of it. So this is a kind of how my type of clientele is just like kind of CEOs, men that have a really kind of high status, but he's beta. He seems for women. He pay for escort. There's a market there. I've noticed. Because these escorts, yeah, that earn a shit ton of money. It's like, where are the clients at? I want to know who are they. So this is
Hmm.
kind of what this is kind of was my market. So I identify the escort, and then from that I will see who she's with, and then I'll go and talk to him through her, and I'll get to know him, and this is kind of going. That's kind of how I approach it, and then it just after that, was just kind of easy to get the clients. So yeah, that's kind of how my niche market is.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. So, guys, you've heard Fab. If you want to get through to him, check him out on Instagram. Also, the link to his Instagram is in the description below. His website is also on in the
Oh yes,
description.
what
So
is
yeah, I put your link. I put your website there. So check him out and reach out to him if you need help when it comes to dating, and getting in touch with your masculinity is really good at what it does. His Instagram page is full of videos like that. So yeah, Fab, it was nice having you here, and
no, nice. Thank you very much. No, nice talking to you. It's really,
yeah,
really
same
nice.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's okay.
so
Sorry. Thank you for the
uh,
opportunity.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, guys. I'll see you guys on Friday for another episode. So peace.
I'll look forward to that one there.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Take care. Bye. Good
Yeah,
night. Bye.
peace.
Peace.